Hey everybody, welcome to the Rhett Sever podcast, where everybody has Sever fever and it's on at last. Hey everybody, what's up? So this week I have one of my favorite people here, Viviana Duncan. She hosts the Stark Reality open mic. It's at 353 Studios in Manhattan on 48th Street. And please check it out. It's one of the greatest times you'll ever have. It's a mixed mic of all kinds of performers, poetry, music, comedy, just any kind of performance art you want to do. She invites everybody, and it's a safe space of basically there are no rules, except the only golden rule is not to hurt other people, and otherwise there's no other rules. Which is why, we don't like... Well, I don't want to say that Trump supporters can come. We don't want to be exclusive, but, again, we don't hurt other people. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, it's an amazing time, and... sorry, the culture war is real. Sorry about the whole Trump thing. But me and Viviana have interesting conversations about that, but which we're going to continue now. And we were talking about we might be on the autistic spectrum, and I just wanted to ask Viviana to continue talking about that. And
the spectrum is like a rainbow. The spectrum has all colors and varieties. And I'm happy to be part of the spectrum, ADHD, with Asperger's. And I love being on the spectrum because I love being different. I don't follow the crowd. I don't follow my family. I don't follow the government. I follow my soul. I follow my mind. And I follow my words and music and my dance. I am an individualist. I am a capitalist, believe it or not, I am, because competition is part of the soul, and I want to be the best at what I do. Everyone's different. Maybe everyone's on the spectrum. Think about it.
No, that's what I was actually realizing recently is everybody's on the mental illness spectrum. And I think that that's a way for the universe to keep our brain in pain so that it can grow and strengthen. Because, it's like all the cliches, the phoenix from the ashes, or shit is fertilizer, or the burn you feel in the gym. It's all forms of pain that put you under stress so you can grow and become strong. That's the only thing with young people where it's like, I was a far left liberal. They're making me sound like a conservative, you're a snowflake and all this. It's like, young people don't get that. It's like, no, you're supposed to be in pain. It makes you grow. Stop avoiding. If you avoid pain, you avoid growth.
Rhett, I don't think there's a formula. Yeah. I believe in the ultimate form of individuality. This is why I'm atheist, because this is why I don't believe in astrology, because no one's going to tell me who to be, how to be, what to wear, where to go. Yeah. I have my own faith in me. I have my own faith in me, like John Lennon. Listen to the song God, written and sung by John Lennon. There you go. I think everyone is God. I think everyone has a philosophy to share. We're not told to get out there and speak our truth. Each of us has an individual philosophy.
Yeah.
We each have a mind, and the freedom of being you is the ultimate freedom. See?
Yeah.
And that's artists of any kind, writers, singers, dancers, they're more aware of that kind of soul, okay? Like if you're used to a 9-to-5 job your whole life just for the pension, just to get a pension when you turn 65 or whatever, and you work for that pension. You know what? I started my own company. I became self-employed because I wanted to be in control of my money, in control of my mind. I didn't want to do what any employer told me to do. That's the way I got fired. I got fired when I wouldn't say yes. I got fired from my family because I wouldn't say yes.
Yeah.
I went by what I thought since I was a kid.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're manifesting your own God power.
Yes. Forget
Yeah.
God. I did.
Well,
my own Viviana
whatever-
power.
Yeah.
Viviana. It's a great name. My parents did give me a nice name because it means to live.
Yeah.
Vivir.
Yeah.
From the Latin, and you pay a price though. It's not all hunky dory. It's not when you make a decision to 100% follow your own mind. That means you leave out family, religion, employment. You pay a price, and I'm ready to pay that price. You don't have as much love in your life because people get pissed off at your individuality because they want to control you. I'm not controllable.
And also I realize it's because you remind them that they are not in control as they could be. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a walking reminder that they're not living their best life. So they're also mad at you because you're just a reminder that they're not
My
doing
mother
what they
did
wanna
not
do.
have the freedom that I do, and so she's jealous in a way.
Right.
And she wanted that freedom, but she
Yeah.
didn't go against her parents, and there was abuse there. And then I was abused, but I fought back.
Yeah.
Which is why I am who I am.
So let me ask you a cosmic question.
Yes.
So you were talking about like child abuse?
Yes.
Okay, so in some weird way, do you actually thank that child abuse because it was the catalyst for your evolution? Because think about a life where you weren't abused.
Yeah.
Then you might not be the strong, amazing person you are now. And you might not want that.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, we almost have to thank our bullies. Do you think so? Or
No,
no?
I don't believe in pain. It's not necessary.
Oh, okay.
No. I believe in finding happiness, but not at the cost of pain. So I hurt as a child because I didn't have any nurturing or love, but the power, the inner power that I had to survive, recognizing that I have, I'm not going to pay a price for, no, I don't think it's necessary to be abused.
Okay, so you think that you would have gone through the same trajectory even if you weren't abused?
Yeah, because I was born this way.
Yeah.
There was never any other personality.
Right.
I mean...
That's true, yeah.
No, I was born this way, just like Lady Gaga says.
Yeah.
I was born this way. And
you would have been who you are despite of how...
Yes,
despite our circumstances, our nature was going to take over anyway.
Yes, eventually it would have. In my case, I was born this way. Right. And they could have abused me. The abuse did not destroy me because of my inner power to say, no, this is a word that we're not told, especially women are not told to say no and to stand by what they believe. Women are not taught that there are alternatives in this life besides being a mother or a wife.
Right.
But everybody has a choice. Maybe somebody wants to be a 9-to-5, or maybe they feel happy that way. And that's the ultimate recognition of individuality. Yeah. You have the right to do whatever the hell you want, short of breaking the law, because you'll end up in jail.
I think those people who like the 9-to-5, I think they're just accepting their Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, they're accepting a form of life, but...
Stockholm syndrome, you think?
I don't know. I'm not going to label it.
Okay.
But the reason I'm not a socialist is because I believe the
power
of individuality. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the only limit is, of course, you don't break the law because you'll end up in jail. Right. And then once they got you, they own you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to know when to.
Right, because it's really about your freedom and liberation, and so you can't put that under jeopardy.
Right. Yeah. I will not jeopardize. You see, the beautiful thing about being a writer, a comic, a dancer, a singer is you can break any fucking law you want, and you won't end up in jail. I can kill somebody in a poem. And I ain't going to jail.
Yeah.
All because of the First Amendment, which right now is under attack.
I was telling my boss about that, where it's like, wow, you can incite violence, and if you call it a poem, you don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
So in some weird way,
Yeah.
the beautiful thing about art is it's respected.
Yes.
You
Well,
can
even
write
if it's
something
not
on a
respected,
paper.
the point is you're not going to get arrested for art.
Right, but the thing is if something's written on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
you could maybe get in trouble for it. But if you no, that was my poem. Oh, okay.
That's it. Yeah, no, you cannot get arrested
Yeah.
for writing a poem
Yeah.
or for the content. On the other hand, you can go to a theater and say, fire, fire. You can't yell fire in a theater.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the
Well,
limits
'cause
of the
that
First
leads
Amendment.
to people being hurt. So
Yeah, right.
you shouldn't say things that lead to people being
Yes.
hurt. You know, like speeches that inspire insurrections on January 6th, for example.
Yes. Yes, you can become
Right.
president and not go to jail. It's horrible. Yeah,
Autocracy.
Huh?
Dictatorship. Autocracy.
Yeah, autocracy. We're in trouble right now, but in Stark Reality, I am the host of Stark Reality Open Mic for the past 18 years. When I closed the door of the studio at 353 Studios, there is no government. There's no limit to any kind of art that you want to practice in front of a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when I close that door, that's it. First Amendment maximum. I mean,
Yeah.
you could even yell fire in the studio.
Well, as long as people know it's performance art.
It is
And doesn't trample out the door and hurt people, right?
Stark Reality's pure performance art, with an emphasis on freedom, with an emphasis on you're the boss of your art. When you get in front of a microphone, you're the boss. Mm-hmm. We're sitting watching you. We're watching your life and your art come to life. Mm-hmm. Okay? I provide an atmosphere of risk. You could take a risk at Stark Reality Open Mic.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not in a bar. I've been thrown out of bars. I've been thrown out of restaurants. Stark Reality has been thrown out of a pizzeria even. I've been thrown out of the Greenwich Village Community School. We used to have the open mic there. 353 Studios kept us going.
Can you list some of the reasons? Did they say why you were let go?
Yeah, we were noisy. I would not turn down the music.
Okay.
I would not stop the dancing. I would not stop the drumming. We have drummers. I'm a drummer also. And the content of the language. I don't negotiate the First Amendment in my open mic.
Do you know what? I see that as a beautiful way of you continuing the trauma of that you went through with your family. Because think about it. Psychology works where we're more comfortable with the familiar, even if that familiar is traumatic, than we are with maybe what's good for us and different or whatever. And so I think, you were saying you were ostracized from your family somewhat. And so you don't care where you go and be ostracized because you're going to be who you want to be. And so in a weird way, you're continuing the trauma, but in a better, healthier way. I think.
Yes, it all has to do with my inner power, which was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
You couldn't hurt me. I mean, you hurt me, and I was hurt. I was really...
when you were let go of the places, yeah.
The family. When we were when Stark Reality was thrown out, actually that was a badge of honor. I call it the Lenny Bruce badge of honor. Oh yes. No, you can't hurt me as an artist or as a human being, because I will tell you where to go.
We have first.
Okay, but you pay a price for being so sure of yourself. You pay a price. Like I can't find a boyfriend. Think about it. Okay, I've been without a boyfriend for a long time. I can't find a man that will be my cheerleader, that will applaud when I perform. This is, and I'm not even bisexual. At least if I'm bisexual, I have a choice between men and women. I don't have a choice. I'm stuck. I'm heterosexual. I'm a frustrated heterosexual. But that's what I am, But I love men.
Right. Do you think your kind of man is somebody, like, obviously who will listen to you, and so in some kind of weird way, they're maybe spiritually the bottom and you're the top?
No.
No?
No, I'm a top. No, I'm a top who wants a top. I'm not a top all the time.
Oh, okay.
But as a way of life, I want someone similar.
Okay.
Because I already been married, been divorced, had relationships where these guys were wimpy and shy, and I got bored. And part of this, part of being on the spectrum, part of having ADHD is you get bored and you go nuts. I can't get bored. That's why I have an exciting life.
Right. So you want to find a top who wants to be topped.
There's no
out there. It is out there.
A top that has confidence, that will cheer me on.
Yeah.
And each of us can be whoever we are.
Yeah.
With the freedom, acceptance of who we are. But shy men always want to be dominated, and that's a big problem because I'm not dominant.
See, interesting.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't like bossing anybody around.
Oh,
I just like being me. And I need a guy that's similar to me.
Oh, interesting.
Opposites don't attract with me. Opposites don't work out with me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Right, because there is the just one second. The law of attraction that like attracts like.
Yes, that's another formula.
Yeah.
And that's my formula.
Yeah.
Because I certainly had enough experience with the opposites attract.
Yeah.
It works with some people. It just doesn't work with me.
I know. I think that the whole opposites attract thing is actually a misnomer, and it's really for people who are following kind of like the zombie way of life that society tells them to be. But really, I think the true law of attraction is like attracts like. For people who are not a zombie.
See, I don't want to put a formula on that.
Yeah. Because
you have dominant submissive relationships in the alternative lifestyle part of life.
Yeah.
It's a very big movement, alternative lifestyle, and I understand it.
Yeah.
And they choose to live that way, and they have contracts and all this stuff. No, I wouldn't say it's a misnomer. I would say it's a different way of life. Everyone chooses, everyone has a choice to make as to who you're going to fall in love with or who you're going to live with.
Yeah.
In my case, I tried the opposites attract thing, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work for us. Yeah.
No, doesn't work for me,
Yeah. So I was going to say how... You're right. That's why I made the difference between there is the physical part of a relationship, but what about the mental and spiritual part in terms of the attraction, top, bottom, opposite, like...
I cannot have a physical relationship without the sapiosexual. You know what sapiosexual? Okay.
You have to.
I get turned on by
somebody.
intellect. I get turned on by amazing conversation. That turns me on physically.
Yeah.
It's got to start north and then hit south.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alanis Morissette called it intellectual intercourse.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have the other type. I can't separate. I'm an artist.
Mind and body.
Yeah. I can't separate the emotion, the passion of my sexuality versus my intellect. It's got to be in one.
Yeah.
And that's the word sapiosexual.
Because it's more hot.
It's very hot. It's very hot.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So, did you know what I was talking about your last show where, because everybody was so, strung out on Trump. And so
Angry.
I was trying to comfort them with, but you guys, the universe is perfect. It's a perfect design. This is supposed to happen. It's part of the pain we go through to become stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
it's your personal philosophy.
No, yeah, and it's okay if you disagree with it. It's just how I process it so I can get through it and not be stressed out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be stressed out.
Well, I gave up being stressed out because I don't watch as much news as I used to. No way. I let the world happen.
Right.
I let my life happen. I concentrate on being fun. I have a great law career. I have a law career.
Yeah.
I fight insurance companies for a living. So that really, I love doing it. And I have a great job, career. It's not really a job, it's a career. And that gives me leverage in terms of money. Mm-hmm. And in terms of, I actually use my personality in my career. In other words, I can be whoever the fuck I want in my office. Mm-hmm. Okay? and which is great freedom. That is very unusual, right? That's because I don't have an employer.
Yeah,
I'm a consultant for a law
your own
firm.
boss.
I am my own boss, and so I really love following my individuality where it leads, and I was really helped by being in the spectrum since I was born.
Nice.
Okay, I was helped because being in the spectrum makes you different automatically.
Focused.
Okay, try speaking to an Asperger's. We call ourselves Aspies. Asperger's. Try talking to any Asperger's. They're not going to give a crap what you're thinking. Everything's going to spew out of their mouth. There's not much of a superego, you know. There's no judge and jury. Say, should I say this? Should I not say this? To hell with it. It's part of the power of being on the spectrum.
Yeah. Have you heard about that thing where, I forgot what they call it now, like mild autism or something, or just spectrum autism?
Yeah, it's called high functioning autism.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
Because they realized the Asperger's guy was a Nazi, I think.
What?
Or something like that.
No,
yeah.
that was part of it. That was, I mean, that's an asshole. If he's a Nazi, he's an asshole. I don't care about the spectrum.
Right.
You know, at that
point. Well, no,
point.
I'm just saying that's why people stopped saying Asperger's.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, so now that's part of the
So they say
high functioning autism.
They say something else. I forgot what it is. People
oh my God, I didn't know that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, and so, it's interesting where, to me, I just didn't like it because it sounds like undigested burgers in your ass. Do you know what I mean? Asperger. It sounds like, is that a tumor or something? That's what it sounds like.
Asperger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a weird fart or something. No, just kidding. But it always bugs me.
So just because of one person,
well, you know how the
language changed.
Well, yeah, it's interesting how we revise history and cancel things and all this because we're growing, you know, and it's part of growth. And it's why the dictionary, you look up a word and it has 5 meanings.
Yeah.
And I used to think that they were not connected, but actually, it's actually telling the history of language. Because, for example, a spinster was a person who spun string.
Oh, and then she became a single woman.
Yeah, so women who couldn't marry or were undesirable, they went to spinning thread because they needed a job because they couldn't marry a man. So then they were independent, and then it became a term for undesirable women. Then you have like a movie like Gone with the Wind where the sisters are like, I don't want to become a spinster, but they mean unmarried woman, not a person who spins thread.
I got a word. I got one of my heroes. When I came to this country, I'm from Argentina. I was 10 years old. When I learned English, which is about a year, I spoke fluent English. I discovered comedy, and I discovered Lenny Bruce and George Carlin, and Bill Hicks and Richard Pryor. Okay. And I discovered these guys and the freedom of the way they thought and the way they did their comedy and the risks they took, including the use of language, especially Lenny Bruce. He's my idea of Jesus Christ, Lenny, because he was the first to really, not the first to have blue comedy, as it's called, because that was Red Fox. He started the, erotic comedy. But Lenny battled religion, society, and
swear words.
And he had his own philosophy about language. Me too. I'm going to give you the word cunt. Okay? People use the word cunt pejoratively.
Yeah.
But what is a cunt? It's a vagina. Pussy. It's the same thing. You're a pussy. And you call someone a pussy and it's pejorative. You call someone a cunt, and that's pejorative, but it's actually a vagina. So why would you put a bad meaning on vagina? Okay, so I wrote a poem called "Cunt."
Nice.
The last line is, "A cunt is 2 lips in a permanent kiss."
Yeah. And
that changes the meaning, that changes the pejorative meaning of the word cunt.
Yeah.
It's a vagina. Why do you make it a curse word?
Right. And I think it's because the patriarchy wanted you to believe that you can't do anything.
That's right. That's accurate. That's exactly what Lenny was talking about.
It's
okay.
Cosmic etymology of it's in the frequency.
Yes.
And you can't do anything. Well, guess what? We can, and you are a beautiful cunt, and I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Cunts are not bad. You're
no,
right.
My cunt is beautiful.
Exactly.
It gives out orgasms like comets.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if I had a man, I'd have a lot more fun with that, but don't have a man right now. So, to quote your book, everyone is gay when they masturbate.
Yes, thank you.
So guess what? It's the only way I'm gay. But
yeah. Right, we have to be gay for ourselves, you're right.
Yeah. But it's more fun with a partner.
Yeah.
Way more fun. Yeah.
And so that's why we can't like cancel words or edit or censor, because then it just gives it more power, which is why you can't say like, oh, you're a beautiful woman. It's the same as you're a beautiful cunt. For us, we can't let the pejorative patriarchy take over.
I need to define cunt. It's not an adjective. It's a thing. It's my vagina.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're not going to put down my vagina.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
So.
Right.
No. It's a wonderful thing to have. And we don't have anything hanging out like you do, you know. Dicks just hang out and they swing and you're walking naked and they swing with the balls, It's like a chandelier.
Yeah.
A dick and balls is a chandelier.
It's a fickle pickle wanting to be tickled.
It's a great lollipop. One of my analogies about penises, cocks, dicks, whatever you want to call it. This is I have a poem in which I liken a dick to a delicious lollipop.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me, but
it's everlasting.
Sorry. Huh?
It's everlasting.
I love it.
Like Willy Wonka.
Come inside me.
Like Wonka's Willy, everlasting.
Everlasting.
Yeah.
When we have words, we own them. When I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I own those words that I write. They're mine. And the meanings can change because of me.
Exactly. It's intent. It's about intent. Which is why we're not going to let the patriarchy tell us their intent on the word cunt.
Exactly.
We're going to have
I
more
own it. Yes.
evolved positive intent. Because that's really what it's about.
Yes.
The intent behind the frequency. They were trying to intent the frequencies for us. It's like, no, we have to re-intent the frequencies.
Well, you could change the part of being an artist is having the freedom to change the meaning of anything.
Yeah.
As a dancer, as a painter, as a writer, as a singer, singers are called stylists. Why? Because they take a song and they make it their own.
Yeah.
That freedom is so important. Okay.
It's how you say it, not what you say sometimes, or a lot of the time.
It's the meaning that you bring to it.
Yeah, it's how you say it, not what you say.
Yeah.
Because really, everybody's saying the same words. It's how you say it. Maybe not necessarily what you say.
It's what meaning you bring to it.
Yeah.
Not how you say. It's what new meaning do you bring to this word.
Right, and that's what I mean by how you say it, not what you say.
Yes. Yeah.
Because two people can say the same thing, have the same script, but they audition in two different ways.
Yeah.
They interpret it totally differently.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of language. It's
beauty,
like music and lyrics.
Yeah. The beauty of being an artist is discovering the freedom to create according to what you bring to it.
Yeah. So really your interpretation, you're really kind of bearing your soul and telling your story through your interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's who I am.
Yeah.
When I'm in front of a microphone, it's who I am.
Yeah.
Off stage and on stage.
And it's very entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
I see it every time. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the open mic. I love the freedom I bring to the open mic. I love closing the door and then hell can break loose.
Yeah.
Enjoy in seeing the different aspects of each artist, of each writer or dancer or Singer. What I enjoy most about my open mic is just seeing everybody. That's why I couldn't do a slam. I don't like competition between arts.
I didn't know a slam was a competition.
Yeah, slam is a competition.
How does it work?
When you run a poetry slam, you got 10 people doing a poem each or 2 poems each, and then there are judges.
Judges. Oh, I didn't realize about the judges. Okay.
Yeah, and then whoever wins, everybody else gets left out in the dust. There's one winner.
And there might be a cash prize sometimes or whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm very not competitive.
Yeah.
I'm only competitive at work, but I'm not competitive as an artist.
Right, because we really should just be competitive with ourselves, because we should be our own worst critic and up ourselves. You know, evolve ourselves, and you know what I mean. Like, you should really be in competition with yourself. And always be...
That's too much pressure for me.
Really?
For me, yeah. Even when I write, all the stuff gets pre-written in my head, and then it's like an orgasm. It's a word orgasm, because when I write, it all comes out in a jet stream of words. Okay? It's like, oh, I'm ready to come out of your head. And then I sit at the computer, and I can only write on the computer. I can't sit in the subway and write. I don't use pen and... Huh?
Okay, longhand.
No, I don't use longhand. I
Right.
can't use longhand anymore. I can't use paper and pen.
Okay.
It does, because my brain works very quickly. Okay? And that's part of the ADHD. The everything I do is fast. Okay? Like boom, boom, decisions. I make decisions fast. I type on the computer. I type very quickly. And it's all organic. It just comes out like... organically, you know, and that, but everyone has a different style of writing. Mine is organic, and then just like taking the shit with words that they just come out.
So that's interesting. So you're saying that you're like a new person every time you write. You don't compare it with your past. Like,
I write about my past, that's for sure, but...
I mean, your past work, your past art. You're not in competition with that.
Right. No, I don't care what I wrote before.
Right.
No, I also don't care what the audience thinks. And that's part of my freedom, is when I step in front of a microphone, we don't give a shit what the audience thinks. I'm not writing for them.
Right.
I'm writing for me and for other women, perhaps. There's people in the audience that really want to write. They want to be more vociferous. They want to scream with their anger. They want to come out with their passion, but they can't because shyness.
They're afraid of something. Yeah.
They're afraid, and when they see me, they see you, they see all the artists at Stark or anywhere else, they sit there and you inspire them with your freedom, because you're inspiring them to come out with their freedom.
And people act like they're afraid of other people's judgment, and they're not. They're afraid of their own judgment.
What they're afraid of to come out, yeah. It's like being in a bottle. You know, in a cage. The body is a cage. And unless you let all the person, you know, I like to say, there are people that have multiple personalities, and they call it a sickness. I say we all have multiple personalities that want to come the hell out of the body. We're stuck in the brain. Freedom is very important to get out of your own cage. Your body is a cage.
Yeah, a lot of our personalities have to do with the environment we're in and the people we're around, and we kind of mold to that.
Yeah.
So you take whatever personalities you have and you mold
give them a poem, give them a song, bring your personalities out. Don't take Thorazine, bring them to stark reality.
Well,
I welcome people to bring their personalities.
Well, yeah, and depending on our environment and the people we're around, we act different ways because we have different expectations for work and art,
right?
or
the pressure of being
this
human.
club we're in, or whatever. And so
the outside world gives you pressure.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I go on a date and the guy asks me what sign I am, I said I don't have a sign.
Oh, because you don't do that, right?
I don't have a birthday. I don't have a sign. I ripped up my birth certificate. I don't give a shit about time.
You're Viviana.
I do not accept the passage of time. I accept the passion I was born with. That's why I dance. That's why I am who I am. And I hope I can encourage people to...
You're timeless.
I'm timeless, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ageless.
That's a good way to be, I think.
Know?
And a lot of what you said makes sense, where Right. You're not writing for anyone except yourself, which is ironically how you are going to connect with more people. That's what people don't get. They overthink things and they will, oh, what do I want? What
Right.
would the audience like? It's like, no, write for yourself and you will then go to the audience through you.
You will affect the audience, definitely. The gift of every artist is to inspire the people in the audience to do their own writing, to come out with their own passion, to find out what they're passionate about. You know, it's a gift to have knowledge about yourself so that you could share it with an audience. And some people may get upset at you, but you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Especially as an artist.
Sometimes I think when you upset somebody, you actually are doing something right. When you upset people. Sometimes. Like for example, Madonna. Madonna upset so many people.
Oh, she's one of my heroes.
But now we look back and nobody is thinking about Madonna upsetting people. Madonna was ahead of her time.
Well, she's my hero.
She upset people in the right way by upsetting the right. No,
by being herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't negotiate.
And they try to gaslight her, yeah.
Madonna cannot be gaslighted.
Yeah. She's ahead of her time.
She was ahead of her time. She is ahead of her time. And now she's being ostracized because she's 67 years old. See, but she doesn't think that. Her boyfriend's at 25. Yeah. I mean, she does not function with the concept of time. She does not give a shit about how old she is.
Yeah, because the people who are ageist, it's really about their own insecurities. Yeah. Not about... Madonna happens to be the famous person there. Yeah. They would be gaslighting anybody who is famous. It's not about the target, it's about the attacker. And so people are just showing the ass of their insecurities, really. And really, people aren't... Because since age you can't really do anything about, it's not really that people are worried about their age. They are worried they didn't use their time wisely. That's really what it means.
And if you... time doesn't mean shit in my life, okay? Because your mentality, if you start thinking, oh, I'm this age and I'm that age, you're going to act according to what society expects of you at age 50 or 60 or whatever the hell the number is. Yeah. But if you concentrate on passion for whatever you're passionate about, it's going to keep you young. Got to keep dancing. Got to keep, Yeah. And Madonna's a great example. Yeah. Because she puts on shows. She doesn't give a shit. And I've seen her in person. Mm-hmm. I've been to one of her shows. Yeah. In 2012. Amazing.
Oh, nice.
Only one problem.
MDNA, yeah.
Yeah. There's only one problem with her. She keeps you waiting for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You have to be and now, if I go to her show, I have experience. She keeps you waiting a long time.
But then she puts on a full show, but it's just late.
She puts on her soul, her life, her body, she just unleashes the animal that she is.
I bet, because she is like a night owl. She likes to write like late at night. So I think she just likes the concert to be later because she feels more at home in the midnight.
Well, then she should start the show at 10.
Right, then she should be honest about it, yeah. But maybe the promoters won't let her.
That is the
So
thought.
maybe this is the weird compromise that she's trying to do. Wield her power.
Yes, and she has.
Because she wants to be a midnight woman, witchy woman, yeah.
And she cannot be compared to Lady Gaga. Now, I love Lady Gaga, but Madonna's the original. Yeah. And she went way further. Lady Gaga's very fashionable and just more societal than Madonna. Madonna's a true raw animal nature.
Yeah, okay. I think the media and audience compare them more than they compare each other.
They have rivalry, but...
Well, I don't think they do. I think the audience and media has invented that because the media and audience, regular people, it's like with politics. People think they need an enemy because in a weird way they're validating each other's narratives. This is what
they're very different. I know that Gaga borrowed a bit from Madonna, but they're totally different.
Yeah. But it's about like, it's like what I was saying at your show, because I was wondering what you thought of what I said at your show last time, where I'm trying to like make people feel better about Trump, where, you know, you guys, this really isn't about Trump. It's about people, you know, thinking they need an enemy to fight against when you don't. You just are trying to validate each other's narratives in a weird way. You need and love each other in this toxic relationship, but life doesn't have to be that way. You can be a sane person in the center who has all the information and can discern the lies from the truth, and live a sane life without being mad every time you see the news. Like, you don't have to live that way. It's not, it shouldn't be your narrative. So like what you were saying, where we don't consume as much media anymore because it's not our narrative. We have our own better narratives in our own lives.
Well, we have our own power.
With our own universal power,
Right. Universal, individual. I'm into individual power, because if you don't find your source of power, you're not going to feel the passion that you're capable of.
Yeah.
Now, I think it is about Trump. I think this is a dangerous time we're living in.
Yeah.
But I choose to not to ignore. I choose to not let it affect me to the point where I cannot do my art, or I have to help a lot of people. I have a law career. I represent a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. And as a writer, I have a lot big audiences to teach and learn from. Okay, we all learn from each other. But I'm not going to let the political state of this country affect my
Yeah, I was realizing
my status.
I was looking up, we shouldn't ignore, we should implore. No, I don't know.
No, that's a play of words.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, you can't ignore what's going on, because we're losing our rights. We're losing the First Amendment. We're losing, he's not listening to the courts. That's the most dangerous thing. The courts are against him. He's got court case. He's losing every court case.
But that's what I mean by implore, is we're begging them to be better, right? That's what I mean.
What do you mean we're begging him to be better?
Well, implore means to beg somebody to do something. So we're begging the government to, like, can you guys get it together and be better? That's what I mean by don't ignore, implore. That's what I meant.
Nah, just...
I didn't mean to do a word
I know
salad.
what's going on without totally sinking into...
the devastation,
Yeah, I don't sink into the devastation. I have to remain cognizant of my own power and how it affects people as a career person in law, and as a writer. And as a writer, there's people that like me, there's people that don't, and I don't worry about the people that don't like me. I just keep on going.
Right,
you have to keep on going.
Paying attention to them is actually paying attention to maybe how you don't like yourself. So that's what people do. Do you know what I mean? We gaslight other people and what they supposedly think of us. It's like, no, we can only project what's in our own head. So if you're afraid of, that's what I mean by people aren't really afraid of what other people think. We're really afraid of what we think of ourselves. Yeah. And we're just gaslighting everybody else. Do you know what I mean? It's not about what other people think of us. We're afraid to look in the mirror and admit, what do we think about ourselves? And that's what people don't want to do. And that's why, we're so
Well, afraid. I think as artists, we help that kind of mindset. I think when you're in the audience...
Self-reflection,
When you're in the audience and you see people performing, it might help. It might help. It might give you passion you didn't know you had. Yeah. And for every person that doesn't like me, maybe there's 2 or 3 that do. And that's where my focus is on.
Yeah.
Empowering others like I empower myself. And that's what keeps me going. And let's not forget my 4 cats. That keeps me going a whole lot. Okay?
Nice.
I'm a cat freak. I'm a cat lady. They're very healing. I'm not joking.
I know, and that's one of the enemies the Trump administration made, was the single cat ladies.
Yes.
They really can't stand you guys.
They?
But that's great. That means you're doing something right if you're pissing them off. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't worry about who I'm pissing off.
Yeah.
I'm worried about continuing my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And perhaps finding a boyfriend, because that's the only part of my life that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? And other than that, I'm really happy. Okay.
Yeah, so I think how we empower ourselves is people think that if they self-reflect and look at their weaknesses, they're thinking then they're being weak. It's like, no, if you acknowledge your weakness, you will now, it's like AA. You stand up and say you're an alcoholic because you have to admit the problem
and you feel the
in
power
order to heal. And so people have to realize it's about self-reflection, not self-deflection, because it's what a lot of people do is deflect and then just, think it's about what other people are thinking. And we can't predicate our happiness on outside validation. If you predicate your happiness on your own inside validation, you will be happy because you have the power to be in a good mood.
You'll feel,
And that's why I, like you, piss people off by accident, because we remind them that they're not as powerful as they could be, because I walk around in a good mood no matter what. And then I just remind people that they're not in a good mood, and now they've try to make me feel bad. It's like, this ain't about me. It's about how you are unhappy. And, and I'm just unfortunately reminding you.
You know what they say, focus on the positive and the hell with the negative,
Yeah.
And most of the time I can do it. And sometimes I get depressed because I'm human.
Yeah.
And because I function without a childhood. I function without a childhood full of love. I miss that. I missed that boat. But instead of that boat, I took the boat from within. The boat that is my life.
Yeah.
My decisions. My authority.
Yeah, and I really do think the positive side of that pain is it did help us grow.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. And it did make us stronger. So I really do think we have to thank that.
But that's
pain.
not the price I want to pay. I would have chosen not to be in pain. And I would have been the same person.
Okay.
Because life is not just about your parents, it's about the world outside.
Yeah.
And all the crap that's going on outside. I only lived with them for 17 years. Then I left. That was it.
But do you think sometimes, like when you said you would get depressed, do you think it can be a good catalyst for art and growth?
Well, you know what they say, people that are not feeling good write better poetry than people that don't. It's easier to write when you're feeling like crap than when you're happy.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Do you know the songwriter Lucinda Williams? The singer-songwriter?
Yes.
Do you know what? She had the problem not finding a boyfriend forever. So when she was younger, she wrote great, depressing, amazing music. Then she found a boyfriend, and then she had tons more albums, but they were all happy and sappy. And people didn't like her as much.
Yeah, but she's happy. And
no, I know, but it's just that's a perfect example of like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Like, I don't know. I mean, was it a good thing? Yeah, for her personal, but not for her fans. Well, it's just hilarious.
See, I don't care about my fans. I don't care about my audiences.
Exactly.
I care about being authentic.
Exactly.
I'm an authentic person, and I make my own rules.
Yeah.
This is why religion and astrology and psychometry and all the other ologies don't work for me. Because I like to make my own
Because your
path.
Viviana-ology.
Yeah, Vivology.
Yes. Yeah.
DJ Viv plays.
Yeah, right. When you just care
loves.
about your own intent and power, everything else will follow.
Yeah.
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 So
the idea is to make yourself happy. Yeah. If the audience can do whatever they want, they can be inspired by you or they can be pissed off. It's their choice.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I think that's a good. Did you want to go on? Did you have anything else to say, or do you think that's a good note to leave on?
I think that's a positive note to leave on.
Yeah, okay.
And thank you so much
for
sharing your authenticity.
Thanks.
Your originality. And stay on your path.
Thank you. You too. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. That was Viviana Duncan. Please check out Stark Reality. And you're also editing a book, right? That you're gonna do soon.
Yes, I'm putting
Nice.
a collection of my poetry together.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you'll have that at one of the shows upcoming.
Eventually.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna check that out once you get those. All right. Thank you so much. See you guys.